Thank you for the like. Welcome to my live. Please like, share, and subscribe. There we go. Alright, what we got in here? Let's just pin that. Alright, so I did this PR on the deadlift today, and well, before that happened, I actually had someone stop me and just kind of mention about my footwear because, maybe I've been wearing the wrong footwear for a while now, actually, so I might have to try and wear some better footwear for it. I mean, flat shoes would probably be better for it, really. So yeah, that's something that I might try and see how it compares because well, they were saying it was more just down to like safety and stuff. They were saying it can mess up your. I can't remember what they said. It was something about your foot or something. It can cause some issue, but gotta be careful, with this stuff, especially when you're going heavy. So probably best try and take the advice and just make sure I correct my footwear. So it's but I was looking into it. Apparently, you can get possibly a bigger lift if you do that because hello, Carlau Picudo. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but welcome in. I hope you're doing well tonight. Hope everyone's had a good day. Hit the like button. Got 24 people and 2 likes. Keep tapping up those screens. Hello, Louis. How you doing? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me tonight. Anyone doing any fireworks tonight or anything? Hello, Eggman. How's it going? Reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog. Eggman. Yeah. Did anyone ever play Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, not too good outcome. What's wrong? So I got a PR on the deadlift today, 155 kilograms. Possibly I could have gone heavier if I'd have worn the right footwear. Who knows? But no, I'm not, Thomas. No. It's still going, is it? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still going in friggin', I don't know. It's like the whole Skibbity thing. It seems to be one of those things that just won't go. I guess it will get replaced by something else, won't it? It seems to have replaced all that Skibbity and all that crap, Gyats or whatever nonsense, brain rot. So basically, yeah. So maybe if I wore like flat shoes, I'd be able to like drive force better. Just because like if there's less cushioning of the shoe, whatever, not whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's less, then I can drive the force down better. I'm guessing. Like I'm not 100% certain, but yeah, I'm from England. Yeah. Hi, Ruli. How you doing? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Lost my job because of doctor's appointment in a week. Immune system. Oh no, that's not good. Yeah. So hello, Richard. How you doing? So I was talking about the footwear thing, and I need to sort that out. So I've got some Vans shoes, so I can try them out. It's just I got 2 different pairs of shoes. I think for my birthday, I think it was, and but the Vans ones they just weren't really that comfortable. But maybe I could just wear them for the gym and just kind of like because they will be flatter shoes, so that therefore possibly it'd be better for that. But it might even help me lift even more because the shoes that I've been wearing are like running shoes, which are not necessarily the best for like lifting heavy weights. They're designed for running. They're not designed for lifting heavy on a deadlift or something. I'd probably have better force. You'd be able to direct more force into the ground. I'm guessing it probably would be beneficial for the bench press as well when you're using leg drive. I'm not 100% certain, but it could possibly benefit you. Anyway, hope everyone's well tonight. But yeah, basically, obviously, different types of shoes are good for different things. Obviously, you've got cycling shoes, running shoes, you've got lifting shoes, which, if you're using, you probably want your kind of Vans or like your skating shoes, really flat soles. Those would be better for it, I think. It's just going to be a lot more stable, and it's going to allow you to. Because what you want to do when you're deadlifting is you want to be pressing into the ground. I think because I tried doing that before, and I was like, you want to imagine you're like pressing the earth down. Like, instead of thinking of it as a lift, think of it as you're pushing the earth away. That way you can really like engage your legs more into it, bring like all your leg muscles into it. Think of it as more of a leg exercise. I mean, the back and other muscles do get involved to some degree as well, but think of it as like you're driving it with your legs. There's a lot of muscles in your legs that are being worked, and it's that's where most of the force is coming from. Like your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, and also probably your calves as well. So all those muscles are going to get worked, but you want to think of it as like driving force into the ground. That's going to help you to generate more force. That's something I was just kind of, I've got insoles, but it still probably isn't going to be ideal, is it? I had to get new insoles for it because the old ones, one of them just kept kind of coming loose. So I had to get new insoles. So I had these these Skechers, which are they're like running shoes. They're not really, I guess they're not really meant for like lifting heavy weights. So it definitely doesn't feel as stable really as probably it should be, really. Just stability is going to be an important factor when it comes to how much you can lift. If you're feeling unstable with your footwear, then you're not gonna be able to direct force as well. And that's Anyway, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Again, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. But it's all about trial and error, isn't it? But let's see what happens after I've corrected this error, and maybe I can bump it up a little bit, and we'll get to 200 in no time, hopefully. So we'll see how it goes. A lot of it's going to be about like neuromuscular adaptations, whatever they call it. Like basically what I mean is that it's not just about building the muscle, but also making the muscle more efficient, making the muscle contract more efficiently. As in, what I mean by that is that more of that muscle is being utilized at once. Because when you first start, like, you're not very neurologically adapted. A lot of it's neurological. A lot of it's the brain. That's why when you lift really heavy, it actually takes a toll more on your nervous system, because the brain has to really sort of put everything into it, like to make that happen. Especially on like a compound lift like that, you're having to like your brain's having to really sort of put every last. It's like having to fire on all cylinders to make it happen. So that's basically. But unfortunately, I don't seem to really kind of get like the nervous system fatigue after doing like maxing out on deadlifts or something. So I'm feeling all right. I'm not even feeling sore right now. maybe I will be tomorrow, who knows? But usually, unless I've gone really, really hard with workouts and stuff, I don't really get very sore. Like the only times I get sore is when I've done a crazy like number of reps, like hundreds of reps of an exercise or whatever, and you know what I mean. It's like that's when I will get those DOMs because that's not something that my body is used to. So it's all about kind of training your body and to get used to these things more, so you can build up your capacity. So then you can do it every day. So yeah, then you probably shouldn't be getting DOMs if you can just do a certain amount of volume and intensity every day that is not beyond something that your body can recover from daily. So yeah, hi G C Gentleman Cheese. So, how you doing? Hope you're doing well tonight. What's your name? Hope all is well. Share this out if you can. So I've been doing a lot of different exercise at the gym today. I did a few barbell rolls. I did some. I also did some TRX face pulls as well. I'd actually just put out a short of me doing that actually. So I've done a few different exercises and stuff. I tried front squats as well. I did record a video. I'm not sure if I'm putting it out, but yeah, tried front squats for the first time, which is instead of putting the barbell on your back, you put it on. You just like hold it on the front of your shoulders. Hey Tommy, how you doing? I hope you're well. So front squats is going to be more quads. Like back squats, it's a bit more biased towards glutes, I believe. But yeah, I thought I'd try front squats for like some quads, basically. But yeah, so there's a lot of different variations. I saw there's this one called Zercher squats. I've never tried that one before, but maybe that's one that's worth trying at some point. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know. I don't know if there's any like actual point of it or if it's just compounds are king. Yeah, but then isolations are good for like addressing any sort of like, because there's some compound, they're good for like working multiple muscles, but I think we also need some isolation for like, for example, if you're trying to, have a well-rounded body, then some isolation work is going to be necessary, I believe, especially if you get more advanced. But yeah, but I'm just kind of learning stuff because, like I said, I was using the wrong footwear. Someone pointed that out, and I was like, so I might not be able to really direct as much power into the ground as I could have, really, and maybe I'm, actually, kind of like, sort of wasting some potential there. But also, it could be unsafe as well when you're doing that, especially at heavy weights. That things get unstable, and so I remember there was this thing where a woman actually, she actually lost her life. I think she was trying to attempt, like, I don't know if it was a world record or something. I think it was like nearly 300 kilograms, which is pretty much about as much as a woman can get to, I think, on a squat currently. And what happened, right? So there was spotters, but they couldn't really do anything because basically I think she had some bad footwear on or something, and she ended up losing her stability, in which then things rapidly happened. So it can be quite dangerous that when you're squatting super heavy weights. So you got to be very careful with that stuff, really. Yeah. You got to make sure you got the right spotters there that can do their job properly, and then and then also make sure you have the right footwear that's going to be stable and all that. So yeah, there's a lot of like precautions that you need to have, the right equipment and things, because otherwise, it's just, you're just gonna end up like putting yourself at risk. So you want to make sure you've got the stability to be able to go that heavy. So you want to like kind of, yeah, but I think the problem is sometimes people go heavier than they should be. Like, as in, maybe if they've tried a few kilograms lighter or something, and sometimes people get a bit too confident and they're not quite there yet. And it's just, you have to know what you're capable of, and you also need the right people to, that if things don't go right, then they can yeah, just save you basically. So, but yeah, that's the thing. It was, if you do it wrong, then you can end up literally, breaking your neck. So it's yeah, it's probably one of the most dangerous. That, yeah, squats and bench press, I would say. Deadlifts, I mean, deadlifts is more just in terms of like the injuries that people can get from. I guess if they're not doing things with good form, if they're doing heavy weights, but that bench press and squats, they can be deadly. Obviously, if you've got a bench press and then one wrong move and you're fucked. Like if you accidentally drop the bar, which you shouldn't be doing, but yeah, you got to be careful. You've got to be very present, shall I say, and make sure that that everything's all kind of like, make sure that your grip is very strong and that you're actually not gonna let go and whatever, because it could literally break your neck, which obviously you don't want that, because that's going to be game over. So I've watched some videos on like these fails that, these were like fatalities and scary stuff. So yeah, I don't really do a lot of bench pressing myself because I don't know, I don't really, I mean, unless I had a spotter. I mean, if you have a spotter, then it's like it'll feel safer, but yeah. But like, yeah, squatting I've done sometimes, but I've seen the video where you can bail like deadlifts. Sorry, not deadlifts. Squats and bench press safe, or more safely. One of them was with the bench press. Is that if you can't lift it, just lower it back down, and then you would like sort of what you would do is like you would roll it down to your stomach, and then you can basically just deadlift the thing off you. Which yeah, that's the thing. That's like the sort of I was watching a video on that, and then with the squat, you can literally just like you would like basically chuck the weight backwards off you. So yeah, I mean that's probably going to be like the best way of dealing with that, and unless you've got a safety rack where you can just bail it safely that way. Some people do that where they'll just have a safety rack, and if they can't complete it, they'll just lower back down, and then it just lands in the safety rack. So yeah, there are ways of like having precautions to make it more safe, really. But it's mad, like when people go so far with things. Like you had people like Ronnie Coleman who ended up messing up his health over it all. He got like he did something to his back or something, and he couldn't even walk anymore. And he's been trying to walk again and I'm not sure if he's started to be able to do it or is getting there, but he's been using some. I think he's been trying to use red light therapy or something. They say like with red light therapy, it can help aid the recovery of like injuries and stuff like that. Because sometimes people had injuries and it's like they've that's just been stuck like that. But then with this red light therapy, it can help apparently for some people. That not saying it's going to work for everybody, but but in some cases that it might have some healing effects. Some people use it to speed up recovery from their workouts and stuff, and some call it biohacking, and to be able to like become like kind of like a superhuman basically. But I don't know if it sounds like a bit of hype to me, really. But I mean, I don't really know if it's really something that really has that much of an effect. But there's people like World's Strongest Man and all that, and they'll do all these crazy things like hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and these are supposed to like help speed up the recovery and allow them to train harder for longer and just kind of get more results basically. So I remember they were talking about like all these things like that. Each thing might only give you like a 2% edge, but then if you do 5 of these different things, then you could get like a 10% boost, let's say. Then that's when it becomes quite significant. But I was watching like when Thor was doing the deadlift, and it's like you're doing 510, and it made it look easy. I don't know, it's mad, isn't it? But like when Eddie Hall was doing it, it's like you could see he was like, it was very intense to say the least. I mean, because like he was like mentally, like he just basically, it was like all or nothing for him basically. You could see how much he was struggling to get that weight up, and he was just so determined, because if he didn't get the weight up, then basically it was to do with his because he put a lot of money into it, apparently like several £100 a week to fund all of that, and if he didn't manage to do it, then it's not gonna be good for him. So he kind of basically the whole kind of, you got into a mindset of kind of like that fight or flight mode of just basically to like, I guess, increase that adrenaline and stuff. So it kind of shows that it can work, because before that his max was 465, I think. So he was determined, and because someone was saying, no, you're not going to do this. So he was like determined, and he was going to just do it. But it was dangerous because of the way that he literally had like a nosebleed, and I think he said he passed out or something, because like basically he got such high blood pressure, and he would just, it was really like messy. Yeah, he just like collapsed, and I think he said he passed out for a bit. And it was it would sound like it was not very nice. But but it looks like with Thor, I mean, he might even still be able to go heavier. If I remember, like Nordic people seem to, I think if I remember, they have better genetics for things like that. So so I guess he's got that advantage maybe of like the Norse, because he was doing 510, and some even say that he might even get to like friggin' 550 or maybe 530 at least. But we'll have to see. But it looked like he still has at least a few more kilograms to go up. Like they can still progress, because you see how it was moving. Whereas you'll see when sometimes like someone does a PR, and that weight moves in incredibly slow. So that's a sign that you're really at your PR, basically, or your 1 rep max. I mean, because if you're like rep speed is not slowing down significantly, then chances are you're probably not quite there. So yeah, that's a sign that you could probably still go up a little bit more. I reckon he could have probably done 515 or 520, but if he keeps training for it, it might even get higher. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think part of it was he was determined to just like prove Eddie Hall wrong, because Eddie Hall was like saying, "Oh, he didn't do it because it was not an official one." So he was just in denial basically, because it was that ego thing, I think, and it was just that's what happens with these things. Get a lot of egos and stuff. They don't want to be knocked off their perch, do they? There's this whole kind of like it's like the egos, I guess. So it can be a thing where you got high testosterone and stuff, and you get quite yeah. I don't know if maybe it's the roids. I don't know. The whole thing of it can heighten that sort of like dominance hierarchy thing. So a lot of people experience that when they hop on gear, and they start to get even more kind of it enhances those kind of competitive kind of like dominant sort of sort of characteristics, you could say. So yeah. Anyway, hope everyone's well tonight. Welcome to my live. Hope everyone's had a great day. So keep the chat flowing, everybody. Yeah, I don't know. It's not no one in the chat, it seems. Yeah. Oh well. Might start up a new one, eh? Maybe I should do that. What do you guys think? Is it? I don't know. Hang on a sec. I don't know if I'm missing anything there. Restart, everybody. So, I'll see you all in a sec.